What's up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the implosion of Xbox, the studios that shut down, with even more information about that and their future projects that are now cut, and the increase of Game Pass. And of course, guys, if you like my type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the PanFam and joining the channel member button below. So if you missed the news yesterday, a quick breakdown is Xbox shut down 4 studios that were under Bethesda, and those studios were Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and then the Alpha Dog Studios and Roundhouse Games. Now, Arcane Austin, they made Redfall as their most recent game, and Tango Gameworks, their most recent game was Hi-Fi Rush, but they also made Ghostwire Tokyo, and they also made the Evil Within series, which was also the studio created by Shinji Mikami, who is the legendary survival horror dude who made Resident Evil. Now, there is a news story from Jason Schreier today about what really happened, and his quick notes here. Xbox still isn't done cutting costs, sent voluntary buyout offers to some ZeniMax staff, so more people at ZeniMax will be getting let go. And ZeniMax, honestly, this could affect some more of the Bethesda teams. ZeniMax is the owner of Bethesda, and Microsoft bought ZeniMax, so we'll see if this affects any of the teams that are working on future like Fallout, Elder Scrolls games, or something like that. Why were Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks is closed? Bad timing, perhaps. An Activision person has ramped up scrutiny on Xbox, and much more. So and another huge part of the Jason Schreier story is they had an Xbox town hall here with the Xbox president Matt Booty and ZeniMax heads of studio Jill Brandt. They said the division has been spread too thin, and they suggested that Arcane and Tango were shuttered in part because they were pitching new games that were years away. Now, here's the reality. Games take years to make. They take years to make. So what would make them happy? Because it's not like Hi-Fi Rush was a bad video game at all. Like, that's a phenomenal game. It was scored great. People loved it. It was shadow dropped on Game Pass. People enjoyed it. What else do these studios need to do to stay alive? Because apparently releasing a good game is not enough anymore in this climate. Now, going through the article, Wario64 here has parsed out some very interesting things. Tango Gameworks was in the process of pitching a Hi-Fi Rush sequel, said the people who asked not to be identified discussing the non-public information. So we were supposed to get a Hi-Fi Rush 2, and it's not coming. It is just not happening. Also, the game was supposed to come on Switch, and they cut that version of it as well. We know this because if you look in the back end of the game, you can actually see that they added a Switch shirt for the main character, but apparently they cut the Switch version, but they did release it on PlayStation at the very least. Now, next up, Microsoft is considering increasing the price of Game Pass Ultimate again. It also has internal debates on whether to put a new Call of Duty releases on Game Pass. So, you know, supposedly what Microsoft says is all new Xbox games, Xbox first party games, release day and date with Game Pass. However, Call of Duty is a money-making game. This is like the game that makes the most money every single year for the most part. So if they put it on Game Pass, they're going to lose a lot of money. And apparently Game Pass numbers are stagnant. They're not really growing. I don't know like what they're going to do. I personally think it won't release on Game Pass. I do think a new Call of Duty will break the trend and not release on Game Pass. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. And apparently Hellblade 2, the new Xbox exclusive that it comes out in 2 weeks, that we've seen zero marketing for, absolutely zero marketing for, is releasing, and apparently they might bring in a PS5 to recoup the cost, which is incredibly interesting. And next up, before its closure, Arcane had been looking into its return to roots by pitching a new single-player immersive sim game. Now, immersive sim games are like something like Dishonored, and yes, the game was going to be a new Dishonored game. Now, this hurts me deeply because Dishonored is one of my favorite franchises. I love immersive sims, and there's not a lot of the immersive sim developers in general, especially on the AAA side of things. And this is devastating to read as a Dishonored fan, because the other Arcane studio, which is in France, is making the Blade game. So we're gonna not get another Dishonored game for a very long time, because these games take 4 to 5 years to make, which is very sad. Now, going into the actual article itself, we do see that Microsoft in February did cut 1,900 jobs as well, mostly at Activision Blizzard. So they've just been destroying people's lives at all these different studios, which is very depressing, honestly. And it makes it so like most people won't even want to go into game dev in general. Now, in recent years, Xbox became deeply invested in Xbox Game Pass, a subscription service that offers unlimited access to hundreds of downloadable games for a monthly fee. To fill the service and new enhancements, Xbox acquired dozens of studios, including outlets known for making smaller games. While most game publishers are looking to make big swings with games that cost hundreds of billions of dollars, Xbox promises to support less sprawling creative titles such as Hi-Fi Rush with smaller budgets and lower sale expectations. It didn't matter if a game sold tens of millions of copies as long as it helped to bolster the Game Pass library. But Game Pass has not seen a massive growth that Xbox boss Phil Spencer may have been looking for. So yeah, Game Pass is just not doing it. Apparently, according to Circana from Matt Piscatella, said that monthly non-mobile video game subscription spending in the US has been flat to a low single-digit growth since the middle of 2021. In our game data, Game Pass spending really had its big growth period in late 2019 through 2021 and has since settled, Piscatella said. Purchasing games and add-on content as well as free-to-play models are still the vastly preferred method of getting video games by US customers, at least for now. There is no plans for Xbox to ditch Game Pass, and personally, I don't think they ever would. But the fact that these games are releasing on Game Pass, they were meant to sell Game Pass like Hi-Fi Rush, and then they are cutting the devs. Game Pass seems like an absolute mess and is very unsustainable in general. Now going to Jez over here. He tweeted this in response to Jeff Grubb's report that Hi-Fi Rush hadn't met expectations for Microsoft. Last year, I was angry that Microsoft doesn't offer a clear picture as what determines success for a game in the Xbox Game Pass era. And then, so he tweeted this out last year in April 2023, right? What exactly determines success for an Xbox game these days? Hi-Fi Rush has no physical version, no marketing, no multiplayer. If Xbox is pressuring ZeniMax to deliver sales of its games, maybe it shouldn't put so much emphasis on Xbox Game Pass. What is the goal here? Now, Aaron Greenberg, who is one of the heads of Xbox, said, Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise. And then about a year later, they shut down the whole studio. And they shut down a Hi-Fi Rush too. So we cannot have any faith in these multi-billion-dollar executives. And Microsoft, don't forget, is the biggest company in the entire world right now too. So we should have no faith, and we should not believe a word these guys are saying whatsoever. Now, Jez says, Microsoft downplayed the report, calling Hi-Fi Rush a breakout hit that target their metrics. Tango was rewarded with a studio closure. I've also heard from Xbox devs that they feel unsupported and also don't have clear pictures on what constitutes success either. The phrase flying blind has been used to mean the past, a while ago immediately, in regards to hitting sale targets in an Xbox Game Pass era. Microsoft has a big PR problem externally when it comes to faith in the brand, with corporate making decisions before frontline can even react. Can you feel the burn controller? It had like this terrible new controller come out that was like a Fire custom controller, and it said, can you feel the burn? On the same day, they fired all these people, which is insane. But also, more importantly, a big PR issue internally. If it was a smaller team at Xbox not working on a black hole game or a billion-dollar franchise, Matt Booty's like to refer to during internal QA, would you feel valued? Would you feel trusted? He continues to say, Hellblade 2 is heading for digital only, probably mostly Xbox Game Pass release, with zero marketing as a narrative adventure, doesn't really fit the bill for any kind of game mega publishers make. Microsoft previously touted Xbox Game Pass as a vehicle for creative titles like this, like Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush got Tango closed down. How would you feel for Ninja Theory right now, which is the developers of Hellblade? I'm curious how Microsoft is positioning these decisions internally. How is Microsoft reassuring its teams? Working while fearing for your job is a great way to kill studio morale. Microsoft is his own worst enemy, I feel. And then lastly, Jeff Grubb was attacked for his Hi-Fi Rush report. I remember being attacked for reporting on this as well. Turns out this report was accurate. Don't bet against Grubb. Hi-Fi Rush was under market in a shadow drop, no retail version. It should have been ported to Switch. It could have found its leg. Tango especially was failed by Microsoft, not the other way around. And honestly, it seems like that shadow drop was to release it to die, but in all defiance, Hi-Fi Rush came out and was a phenomenal game. And now this is what we look at. This is the picture we got, and it's only going to get smaller. It's only going to get worse for the rest of 2024, but not just at Xbox, but at other developers across the board. It's a sad state to be in the game industry, especially as a gamer and especially as a game developer. Everyone is hurt by this, and hopefully these studios will stop cutting jobs, stop ruining lives, and focus on the time and the money to make the best games possible and treat their employees with respect. But there we have it, guys. That is our Xbox implosion news update. Hopefully they don't explode, because that will be bad for everyone across the board. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.